Welcome to a new video dedicated to a new full-speed super light one cellule FPV racer. This is the BeeBee-66 Lite. Okay, and I've got the PNP version, but you can find in BNF either with the DSMX, FreeSky in D8 or FlySky and AFH2S 2A protocol. So what we have in hand, we have a super compact 66mm, kind of tiny but without the prop guard, but with a central tall electronic tower, where on top we will have the I/O FPV module. For the electronic, we have tiny fish F3 board. Okay, so everything is integrated, 6 ampere 4-in-1 ESC supporting barely S and D shot 600. We have an S3 board. You have to know now that this model is announced also to be coming with an F4 solution. Whatever, the F3 should be already not so bad. And associated with, we have some 0703 brushless motors spinning at 15,000 kV. So this model is clearly only supporting one S setup. Coming with, we have some LEHV battery. Let's now discover the content, and I will associate the PNP version with the the official clone, well, if I can call it official clone, of the micro FreeSky receiver from Tiny Fish. This is the Open Sky Mini RX, okay, and it will be a super light companion. It's a FreeSky D8 based, and this one should offer also RSSI and probably also some telemetry information if you connect the wires to the corresponding pad. Whatever, let's discover the content. Okay, here are all the contents. First, I will start with accessories. We have some 3 blades, 40mm props, okay, with 1mm of central oil section. Only 4. It's a little drawback since we don't have any prop guard, so we don't have anything to find in a replacement in spare. Another bag with the main 260 mAh LiPo battery. Is not a LiPo, sorry, it's a LEHV up to 4.35 volt, ending with the micro JST with 1.25 pitch section. Okay, 2 rubber band to attach laterally of the battery, okay, like this, with these 2 lateral carbon hook. And we have a micro USB 90 degrees extender, and finally a small charger ready to charge through the micro USB this battery, okay, with this type of connector on micro JST in PH. For the receiver, in fact, out of the box, I reduced the length of the wire, so I kept 32mm to be sure, to be tuned with a 2.4 GHz antenna. So this model is super light like this, so with the antenna, etc. Weights, well, we'll wait to the end of the calibration, okay, and weights about 0.6 grams, so 0.7, little bit between 0.6, 0.5, a small double-side tape, okay, to secure completely the installation. So let's continue to discover the machine. Okay, we have these brushless motors, so 15,000 kV. You know, they are to not deliver super punch, and well, there is no magical solution actually with super light 1S brushless FPV motor, but the key is to reduce the weight of the extra component as low as maximum. So standalone, the frame with everything is 22 grams, so if I had the receiver and the battery wire and the rubber band, I should do not exceed 32 grams, okay, so with the battery and with the rubber band, you will also have this small amount of wire of solder, so we should be under 31 grams, which is probably one of the best weight ratio trade-off with all the one cellule FPV machine. So what we have, we have this tiny fish F3 board based, and unfortunately, at least for the PNP version, you will need to completely remove the top 3D printed camera holder. Okay, then you will need to access to the main central F3 board in order to access to the pad which are installed in upside down, unfortunately. So for the PNP version, some works to do, and the pads are super compact, so you will need to make some precision, high level precision soldering job. The frame is relatively flexible, so it should turn in with about 1 mm or 1 mm 25 maximum. We have a 1 mm thickness for the frame, carbon frame, so be aware if you crash it or indoors on a very hard surfaces, it can break versus time. The I/O module is a 40 channel 25 milliwatts NTSC, if I'm not wrong. A classic one with a CMOS sensor, 600 TVL and 120 degrees of field of view. Nothing else, no bother, and we have the micro JST connector. So you have just the room inside to fit with a double side tape the micro FPV receiver. On the you can see front right, you have the possibility to connect the micro USB. Be sure to do it before to install the prop, because the room is not super tricky, and this is why they provide the 90 degrees micro USB extender to make your the connection more easy. It's standard, so I'm afraid that the battery duration, even with LE-HV of such machine, won't be over 3 minutes, 2 minutes 30, 3 minutes. Since there is no bother, I will check in the BLE configuration default setting. I will probably increase the beacon strength to the maximum 255 to make the motor bathing. It will replace the role of an official bother. Okay, and it could be a good option if you plan to use this machine outdoors. So I will start to remove the 3D printed camera support and to access to the bottom side of the tiny fish flight controller in order to solder this super compact FieldSky D8 receiver. Okay, so now everything is installed. It's a little bit tricky, and probably the more longer is to unscrew this four super compact tiny nylon bolt there. So it's very long, and after you have to be super precise in your soldering job. Very important if you plan to use the same type of receiver I'm using currently, this fish FieldSky receiver clone, or you have to apply in the CLI command the set sbus underscore inversion equal to off. Okay, to be sure, because the sbus pad of this receiver already inverts the signal. So everything is installed, as you can see, and the total weight is about, if I can measure correctly, okay, we should be around 32 grams, and the good surprise, we're at 31.4 grams, which is really good for such kind of a machine. So you need to double twist the rubber band to attach correctly, and already pre-configured in Betaflight the stuff you will show in few instance. But a very important remark: be aware, because the F3 board is got a double rotation, one completely of 100 degrees in roll axis and one of 90 degrees in the yaw. So if you have to redo everything from out of the box in in terms of configuration. Betaflight, don't forget to apply such board alignment. The S-Bus receiver connection is done via the UART serial 3, okay, and well, nothing very unknown, but everything works fine. And also change the basic OSD information. It was more or less well configured out of the box, as you can see here in the few instance when I will turn on these FPV monitors right now, okay. And if I plug the battery, you will see that okay, the OSD information of the I should maybe rotate next time the battery because it's a little bit tricky to insert. The battery is long, okay, and you can see that we have the basic information, and apply some optimization, okay, and we can guess the RSSI on top right, the throttle, and the battery voltage here, okay. So I don't know why it's buzzing like this, waiting the arming probably. Everything is clear, and now it's time to check the Betaflight settings with some little optimization I did, and the BLE configurator probably to turn on the buzzing to the maximum volume. Let's go. Okay, so let's check the default Betaflight configuration, and I already pre-optimized some parameters. So first of all, let's check the current version installed. We have the version 3.2.3, and we have a classic F3 Omnibus board. So it's strongly advised to dump, but if you are using this micro FieldSky receiver, the open one, be sure to apply the set S-Bus inversion, okay, the command equal to hope to be sure, okay, that this receiver will work. Whatever, strongly advised to dump all the setting and to save all these parameters, or use this button here into a text file. I already did it, okay, and if you need to restore, just copy and paste all this information from this text file into the CLI, and don't forget to type the save command, okay, to restore everything. So let's have a look to the configuration, okay, and I will repress the connection. Sometimes we need to press twice, okay. And first things to check is about the port. So be sure, if you have an S-Bus or whatever, any serial based receiver, to have the UART3 serial turn on. So let's check the configuration. We have a quad X, okay. D-Shot 600 is a pre-turn, that's great. The default frequencies are 8 kilo, 2 kilos. I disable the parameters, and very important, this is a board alignment, so be sure to apply 180 degrees on the roll axis and minus 45 on the yaw axis, okay. Be sure also to select the RX serial receiver, and more particularly an S-Bus connection. As term of features, only OSD is turned on by default. So let's check now the battery, and we have some settings more about the LEHV. In terms of PID, there are some presets. For example, the rate have been a little bit optimized. I increased a little bit these values, for example, to something more, to have something more about 900 degrees. And the linear, we have more linear inserts also for the yaw. We have the default level strength for both angle and horizon, okay, and we can save this setting. For the receiver, okay, I will turn on the radio, and immediately you can see that the aux5 is activated. So be sure to select the aux5 if you want to display the RSSI on your OSD. Be sure to center all the command as well on the 1500, and to be bound inside the value of 1000 to 2000. You have also, for my personal radio, the aux1 and aux2 are two three-way switches. I also apply some RC deadband of 4 for both the RC and the yaw, okay. In terms of mode, in classic, I will arm with the aux1 when the switch is in the lower position, and for the aux2 is more controlling the flight mode. So I've got angle, horizon, and air mode was anti-gravity, and as well the air mode. So in terms of OSD, what I decided to display, since we have the good news, the RSSI, I display the RSSI, the main battery voltage, the crosshair, the timer, and the throttle position. The camera settings is more adapted to an NTSC display. I also changed the fonts to the clarity one. So everything is pre-installed. Just now will increase the beacon level strength in case you're planning to fly it outdoors to increase this volume. Okay, so I already pre-connect, and now it's time to plug the battery to fully boot, and then press the read setup. Okay, so what I will do is to decrease this value to 1 minute and increase the beep strength to maximum, and I will also activate the brake and stop and write the setup for all the ESC. Okay, it's done, so I can disconnect, and the now you can hear much more louder, so will be more easy to find your lost machine. So now it's time to go in the field. Conclusion about this Fullspeed BeeBee-66 Lite. First of all, it's a pretty good flyer. I was very surprised, and in acro mode is working very well. So it's strong enough to perform some basic acro figure flips and rolls without any problems. It's relatively stable in wind-free conditions, so really a good surprise. And another thing, I really like this micro or open sky mini RX. It's a pretty good, super light, about 0.78 gram, with a full field sky in D8 mode with RSSI for both the OSD and the telemetry. That's great, and the range sounds pretty good. Really good news for super compact flyer, but there are some negative points, and I will say the main one is only 2 minutes 15 seconds of flight time with this LEHV battery. It's drawing a lot of current, so no miracle. So it's the flight time are super short. Another negative point I would say is the IO FPV camera. The light sensitivity is absolutely not super good. For example, you saw in the videos when I was facing the sun, I was a big black hole sign of the poor sensitivity of a CMOS sensor in general. So could be better. The FPV range is not so bad, but the sensitivity are not great. Except that, I deeply also regret the absence of any 40mm spare props. But you can replace them probably with some Racer Star model like this. They are compatible in size and should offer a little bit more boost, but will reduce, on the other hand, the durability, the flight time duration. Sorry. So I'm not afraid about the crack of the frame. I crash it many times, and only the props show some sign of stress. Not a big deal, but they are still flyable. So about 31 gram in total weight. That's really impressive, and I think these two modules, so this Field Sky D8 mode is a perfect companion for this kind of super tiny FPV brushless machine. So I hope you enjoy this new video review. If you like it, please send it. If you like my channel in general, please subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.